G'day, Finroo here. How you doing? Welcome along to Homebrew Wednesday number 30. I've just been supping away on the Black Rock Nut Brown Ale, the homebrew kit that I paired up with a Mangroves Jack's Brew Enhancer number 20. So let's just have a little pour a pint, and it's, half pint, and see how we go. Just coming out at a rate of knots. Just changed the keg over and it's a bit gassy. There we have it. Black Rock Nut Brown Ale paired with the number 20 Brew Enhancer from Mangroves Jack's. It's outstanding. Well, you always say that, Finroo. Well, it is. I'll tell you if it wasn't. So I paired them up, the pair of them, and I'll tell you what I did. I used a yeast starter for this kit, yes I did, and I used a second generation of US 04. If you remember, I actually mentioned about this from the brew that I did, the Yorkshire Bitter, that started off being a little bit, has a few odd flavours in it, which settled out and actually turned out to be quite nice, which I was very happy about. As you can imagine. I could still do a better job of it. Next time I brew it, I'll be making sure my brew day is spot on. But it's just one of those things that happens sometimes on brew days. It all turns to custard. So I used a yeast starter from second generation, a US 04. None of the off flavours have carried over into this, so that was good. It must have been some other issue. So when I mixed it up with 23 litres, or 22 litres, and I mixed it all in, and I did a 20-minute boil, and I put my copper wort chiller into there, and I also put in 20 grams of Motoree hops, because I just love those hops, and I thought it would go quite nice in a brown, and it certainly does. Cheers anyway, welcome along. Ooh, very, and with the Motoree hops, can really taste the grapefruit in that. It's becoming a sort of a signature flavour for my beer, if you like. Really love it in the in my dark mild. I really love it in the dark mild. It's outstanding for me. Okay, it's really nice in this, so it'd be nice in a brown. It's only 20 grams in it, 20 minutes, so beautiful. So there was a 20-minute boil in there. Now, this is the important part. The thing that I've noticed about this beer, being a kit beer, is we talk about the homebrew twang from kit beer. I have no homebrew twang in this at all, not even a whisper of homebrew twang. It's a beautiful malty beer, plenty of flavour and no twang. So how did I manage that? I'm not 100% sure. I have had the twang before. I'm well aware of it. I know what it's like. Years and years ago, it was terrible. You knew it was a home brew. Hello. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to the YouTube. Yeah. See? Ah. Can you go out with the dogs and I can finish it? Yeah. Okay, is that all right? Yeah. All right. You're going to take Baxter with you? You call him. Come on, Baxter. Where you go? Thank you. I'll come and see you in a minute. Where you go, Baxter? Where you go, Roo? My granddaughter. Coming to see what Granddad's doing out in the garage. So, anyway, we'll just cruise with this. No problem at all. So how did I get rid of the homebrew twang? Well, I tell you, I have a theory. I've got no evidence to base it on apart from the fact that I have a beer in my hand that does not have the homebrew twang. And that is, I'm wondering if the fact that I brought it to the boil, not so much the fact that I brought it to the boil, that'll be some of it, and not so much that I did a starter, but the fact that I cooled it down very fast and with the wort chiller, and all those proteins in trub and cold break went to the bottom, and that settled out of the beer. Because when I siphoned it into my fermenting vessel, at the bottom there was cold break in the bottom, so that was left behind. I wouldn't normally do that. I wouldn't normally boil it, although I have. But I'm just thinking that this time, the fact that I left the cold break and all that other proteins and stuff that cool down and sink to the bottom at the end of a boil. Oi, stop fighting! Back's to rev and scrap. I'm wondering if that gives us the homebrew twang. But to try it again and see how we go, I'll have to do an experiment, which I don't really want to do. We'll have to do one without boiling it and cooling it down, one with boiling it, cooling it down, and leaving the trub behind. So very interesting, but it is a very, very nice beer. So if you can give it a go to try that, and let me know how you go, that'd be really, really good. Cheers. Now, in the fermenter at the moment, I did a brew about 5 days ago. It was my fresh hop brew, where I just picked all the Cascade and all the Fuggles, and I put them all together, and it turned out about 200 grams dry in the end, and I just threw that all in at 20 minutes just to see how it went. I was very late in picking them, and I was very, and then I left them to dry, and I was sort of quite late in actually brewing with them, so they weren't in the best conditions. I threw a little bit of extra Fuggles and a little bit of extra Cascade in, because at the end of the day I wanted to make a nice beer. All I used for the malt was a single malt. I just used American pale malt. Treated my water with some gypsum and some calcium chloride, and had a really good, it's an awesome brew day. It went very, very well. The only thing about it was the hops. It took up, I probably lost about 4 litres of wort, because I used the hops. I just threw them straight into the boil as they were. Probably, you know, I mean, put them in a hop sack or a hop bag like that, and I wouldn't have lost so much, but I could have also put more water in, so that's fine. So that's in there at the moment. You're looking at me. Yeah. And so that's fine. That should turn out nice and should be ready to, next Homebrew Wednesday, should be able to talk about that. Is it still going? Yep. Now, the next one I'm going to do is the Wigram Honey Ale. My granddaughter was looking at me through there. Is the Wigram Honey Ale, the Harvard Honey Ale, which I'm going to clone. I'm lucky enough to have the recipe. I've got some honey. I know exactly what I'm going to do, and so that should be something to look forward to. So hopefully next week we can talk a bit more about that and get the brew on. So cheers. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and brew on. Cheers.